If we could travel at the speed of light, what kind of problems would we have to face? It is certain that we will not be able to make such a trip with the current technologies. But now if we get such a technology, and we travel, what will really happen to our body? If we were traveling at a faster speed than light, we would be able to time travel. If we can do time travel in such a way, then we will have to face a crisis called the grandfather paradox. What is the grandfather paradox? A time-traveling man reaches his grandfather's childhood. At that time, his father was not on Earth. But the grandfather is on Earth. Suppose he kills his grandfather there, and if he does so, his father will never be born. If his father is not born, then how will he be born? If he was not born, then who killed the grandfather? Let's time travel while the big unanswered problem stands there. What experience will we have during time travel? We are not going to be traveling faster than light now. We are going to travel at the speed of light with the help of a time machine. Before that, let's understand how terrible the speed of light is. Light travels at a speed close to 3 lakhs per second. If so, how fast does light travel in 1 hour? It will be at a speed of about 108 crore kilometers per hour. The fastest speed ever traveled by a human being is 39,897 kilometers per hour. 39,000 kilometers per hour and 108 crore kilometers per hour make a huge difference. No matter the numbers or the technology, we can assume that we were able to build such a machine, a beautiful spacecraft. We decided to travel through the universe. We put all the necessary items in a bag, and with that bag, we enter inside this spacecraft, and the spacecraft starts to leave. It is slowly increasing its acceleration. There are a few small calculations to keep in mind at that point. Einstein said that as an object's speed increases, so does its perceived mass. If it travels at 90% the speed of light, the mass of the spacecraft will double. Now suppose it is traveling 100% at the speed of light, then the mass of the spacecraft would be infinity. That is, we cannot even define exactly how much. If so, we need infinite energy. It has never been possible for man to create or discover such an energy. Even then, suppose that technology is also present in this one machine of ours. We are heading towards that speed. If you look into outer space, you can see the stars flying away. If its color was white at first, then it slowly turns red. A clock is also installed in the spacecraft itself to know the time. If we look at the hand on it, we feel that the second hand starts moving very slowly. As the acceleration of the spacecraft increases, the speed of the second hand also decreases. Finally, the second hand stops there when our spacecraft reaches the speed of light. Why did the second hand slow down and then stop? If we want to know about it, we have to think about Einstein's theory of relativity and time dilation. As we travel at more than 90% of the speed of light, we cannot see the stars if we look outside. This is not because the stars are not there, but simply because the light from those stars does not reach our eyes. Everything seems calm, but there is a big danger lurking here. We feel as if someone is constantly shooting at us from outside. Bullets from outside penetrate the spacecraft at tremendous speed. When space is called empty, it is not really empty. We can see small atoms there, but not in such extreme density that it will be found there. Apart from this, we can see many dust particles. But we can only know them by traveling at the speed of light. But if we were traveling at a normal pace, we would never realize this. When we say dust, it cannot even be compared with the dust particles found on our Earth, because you can see a lot of dust here. But its density is very low in vacuum. We are traveling 3 lakh kilometers every second. 3 lakh kilometers is a huge distance. In this way, we can see how much dust there is in that distance. No matter how low the density, there will still be a lot of dust. All of them come and hit the spacecraft at a very high speed, and because of the high speed, they penetrate the spacecraft and enter the interior. There is a way to avoid this danger. Get out of the spacecraft. So if we want to go outside, we don't need to open the door. We can get out of this in another way. For that, it is enough to drive this spacecraft at a higher speed. Right now it is traveling at the speed of light. Let's assume that the spacecraft is traveling at speeds faster than light. If so, you wouldn't be in the spacecraft right now. You will not have entered the spacecraft. You are standing in the same place as the launching pad. As we travel at the speed of light, we can see time standing still. So if it is traveling at an extreme speed faster than light, then time must go backward. So when we go back, we arrive at the time before we boarded the spacecraft. We are definitely not in the spacecraft at that time. We are standing there on the launching pad. We are about to board the spacecraft. If we continue forward at that acceleration for a longer period of time, we are traveling backward in time again. At the end of the trip, we feel like we are turning into a little child. We can't even think about it because the speed of our thinking is only 250 kilometers per hour. But now we are traveling at a speed of more than 300,000 kilometers per second. This was just a hypothetical video. This trip is a hypothetical trip. With current technology, we cannot even think about it. But that doesn't mean it will never happen. It may take place. Perhaps these discoveries will not happen in our time, but we can only hope that someday we will be able to achieve it.